Greetings, I'm Charles, I'm 54 years old, I'm 6'1" and 230 pounds when I'm fully assembled. Today I'm going to talk about posture in the wheelchair. And the reason I'm going to discuss this is because as being an amputee, the plan, of course, is to be able to walk more or less normally by the time all is said and done. Now, my amputations were done at different times, several years apart from each other. This one was done about 4 years previous to the above-the-knee amputation. And I ended up in a situation where, I had broken my foot on the above-knee side. It didn't heal, had surgeries, ultimately vascular collapse, and ended up with below-the-knee amputation. That didn't work. Shortly after that, I had an above-the-knee amputation. Now, because of the situation, I ended up spending about 3 out of 4 years on again, off again, using the wheelchair as a pretty regular way of getting around. So, posture is very important because ultimately the goal is to walk. And if I had bad posture for that length of time, I would have had much more difficult time learning how to walk. So some of the things I'm going to show you about today on posture is that your wheelchair is very important. My wheelchair turned out to be super important when it comes to posture. The wheelchair that I first got, when I first got a wheelchair, I had just was still in the hospital, and somebody who worked through the hospital had set me up with that. And the things that we're looking for is a wheelchair that's the right size, of course, and it needs to be adjusted such that when I'm sitting down, that my feet are flat on the floor, just like I had regular feet. In addition, the seat needs to be very comfortable. It needs to be very comfortable when you're sitting straight up. I want it to be very comfortable. Make sure there's no pressure on my tailbone or anything of that sort. The back also needs to be very comfortable. Something that I could sit up straight in for a long time, at long stretches of time, without being uncomfortable. Now, when it comes to things that adjust on the wheelchair to help things out here is to make the seat the appropriate height. These wheels, the big wheels on the side here, are actually adjustable up and down. And unless you're extremely tall or extremely short, you should be able to adjust it so that relatively the seat will get you to where your feet are flat on the floor. The next big thing as far as adjustable items, and this is something I see a lot, I've seen with a lot of people that do use wheelchairs regularly, is these armrests. The armrests are adjustable up and down, and what I found is that having the armrest such that when I'm sitting straight up, my elbow rests comfortably, basically as high as the armrest will go where I'm still comfortable. And that makes it so that, when I'm not thinking about doing anything else, or I'm, sitting at my desk at the computer or something like that, I can be sitting up and not have a real problem. Now, there is a problem with my situation is because of my natural height, this armrest at this height, it's not possible for me to get under a lot of dining room tables, and even my desk, I can't pull up under my desk to use my desk. But a cordless keyboard or wireless keyboard certainly helps out with that situation. But because of this height, this wheelchair is real comfortable for me to sit up and sit up straight. Now, I see this a lot with other people in wheelchairs. I adjusted this armrest to be a little bit shorter. It was comfortable, but shorter. And one of the things is, as I'm using this armrest, it causes me to lean a little bit forward. You know, just when I'm not driving anywhere, I usually just have my arms rested on here. And it causes me to lean forward. As you can probably see, as I'm resting on the lower armrest, my back is far more bent, my head's leaning much more forward than it normally or naturally would be if I had good posture. So raising this armrest would make it such that it would be more natural for me to be sitting more in an upright position. And the reason I want to sit up in the upright position is because as I'm walking, or as I've learned to walk, then it'll make it tons easier to learn to walk that way. So one of the other things that I've done to help my posture situation is because I have an above-the-knee amputation, I have this prosthetic. This is actually still my trainer prosthetic that I'm wearing right now. So it's really big and fat. And one of the things that occurs with this is this prosthetic goes all the way up to my hip on one side, and that means it's sitting on the seat, which makes my leg naturally higher than it would be otherwise. It's higher than what this one would be. I know it looks like this is a lot lower than this one right now, but the leg part that you can't see in here, it's pretty much even. And the way I managed to make that happen was I've got some high density foam and put it under me on this side. So it's going basically from the front of the seat to near the back of the seat, so that both of my legs are basically jacked up to the same height, and it causes my hips to be level, and that'll reduce lower back pain, and also the whole posture will help reduce any back pain and potential neck pain. So, and it'll definitely made it a heck of a lot easier, I believe, for me to learn how to walk, since I had spent so much time in the wheelchair previous to that. Hopefully that was helpful for you, and good luck.